Hello Indie Game fan, it's the last big week of releases for this year, so let's kick off with the Steam release of Dwarf Fortress, the legendary colony sim title that has influenced a large number of games with fancy new graphics for this release. If you watched yesterday's video on upcoming roguelite, you will notice that Necrobouncer is conspicuously absent, and that is because they confirmed their release date for this week. This is a pixel art top-down action roguelite that looks fantastic, where you play as a bouncer having to toss unruly patrons out from the nightclub dungeon. The action looks good, and so does the pixel art, being a good title that I'm looking forward to. I covered a whole bunch of these titles when previewing December, since the shorter month of releases means that all of these are compressed mostly in the first half, with Crawl Tactics of course being one to watch. This is an isometric pixel art roguelite tactics title that has you leading a bunch of adventurers through procedurally generated dungeons. If you love tactics titles like me, be sure to get this and keep an eye on the channel this week as well. A very slick looking title is Swordship, one where you have to dodge enemy attacks while getting them to attack each other, flipping the classic vertical shoot 'em up on its head, and looks pretty neat. Stealthcraft is essentially Stalker meets Minecraft, where this has long existed outside of Steam, with many years of development work having gone into this, where they are finally reaching out for a larger, more mainstream audience to take notice. This is set in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, where you have a bunch of both PvP and PvE missions to complete, with a main story campaign as well, and does look very good. We have some interesting bigger games this week, beginning with Hello Neighbor 2, the sequel to the tremendously popular stealth horror title, where to the untrained eye like me, sure looks to be more of the same. Some of you might not know this, but the Hello Neighbor franchise is absolutely massive, with the original getting 30 million downloads as of 2020, so it has to be even bigger now, with animated pilots and books even being a thing, which is why it ended up in this section. confused myself for a little bit since Paragon the Overprime is the second game to be reviving Epic's failed MOBA Paragon, in addition to a predecessor which I covered last week, where this looks to be more true to its inspiration, so let's see if they can make it work. We also have the PC and home console release of The Rumblefish 2, a fighting game from a Japanese developer which was released in arcades in 2005, where this is a very interesting move to make in 2022. Smaller games begin with Grey Heritage Faded Vision, a tactical RPG that kind of looks like Fire Emblem, although I believe it's using some sort of tactics maker since I've seen this style of game before, but it looks decent, so why not give it a go. The developer of Impaler kindly sponsored a video on the channel last week, so I'm here to remind you that it will be out this week. A fantastic looking arena first-person shooter where you're taking on waves of enemies with the ability to summon spikes out of the ground to impale your enemies, and will be priced at just $2.99.
Sire, your kingdom awaits.
A super impressive but maybe not quite indie and not quite my type of game is Knights of Honor 2 Sovereign, a real-time grand strategy title set in medieval Europe and looks very well made.
Orders, they've garnered many new skills to serve the realm. Our diplomats are standing by, Your Majesty. Use them to seal powerful pacts with our allies. Our merchants have established the trade route you requested, sire. A neighboring monarchy is unpopular with their people. A well-placed spy could send them into anarchy. Heresy has spread to one of our provinces. We should let our priests deal with it, sire. It is time to recruit the continent's greatest army and protect your sovereignty by all means. Lead your men into battle. Use your cavalry to flank their archers. And send soldiers to scale their walls, sire. It is the people that demand you ride with your knights to defend what was and the dream of what could be.
Decades after the apocalypse, you find yourself stranded on a derelict space station. Only you will decide who is the hero of this story. An explorer.
An impressive-looking RPG is Space Wreck, where it takes inspiration from Fallout 1 and 2, having a retro look and seems pretty cool.
An investigator. A soldier. An engineer. A diplomat. Or just a jerk.
The Forest Quartet is an emotional puzzle game about dealing with loss and death, where you play as the ghost of the lead singer of a band as she attempts to reconnect with her grieving band members, with some puzzle elements that makes this of interest.
Are you all right? Thank you all for coming, and thanks for your patience. Let's give Nina the goodbye she deserves.
This was Necropolis, once a prosperous city for us undead. It now lies in ruins after the living invaded the city and destroyed it. But we will rebuild.
I mentioned the original Undead Horde when bringing up games to get during the recent Steam sale, where Undead Horde 2 Necropolis is essentially a Pikmin-style strategy title where you're leading an undead army, seeking vengeance on the living and rebuilding your home base, where I love necromancy in games, so this is my jam.
We'll rebuild. Our city will regain its glory, and our horde will grow stronger, and the horde will reach out even to the farthest kingdoms. Our city, the Necropolis, will be more powerful than it ever was. Glory to our king, and glory to the undead.
An out of left field pick here is Yi Xian, the cultivation card game, a PvP deck building title from a Chinese developer and with a Chinese martial arts theme, where it has already gotten quite a bit of momentum on its own and people are interested in this, but I do wonder if it will catch on. Zombies are overdone, but I do think that Zombie Cure Lab brings something a little different, being a base builder title where you're searching for a cure, having to fend off zombies and even mind control them to do your bidding, looking pretty whimsical. Hey, if you made it this far, subscribe to my weekly newsletter to keep on top of all things indie games, link in the description below. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this game, so let me know if you do in the comments below, where Tuges or Tuges or Toges is a fantastic looking 3D puzzle platformer where it looks like you're playing as the Roomba from Mario and Rabbids, even having a similar art style. But it looks like an absolute delight with the puzzles and exploration. An instantly viral hit is Choo Choo Charles, one where the main antagonist is a spider tank, which people have of course compared to Thomas the Tank Engine, where the trailer on YouTube and Twitter went absolutely ballistic in terms of popularity when it was revealed. This is a first-person open-world survival horror title where you're exploring the island and helping the residents and getting parts for upgrades, all as you build up to the final showdown with the spider train looking very intense.
You know, if you actually want to win this fight, you'll need some serious firepower.
Now that you have those rockets and my launcher, all you need is a target.
Unless you want that train of yours to end up in my junkyard, you better get some upgrades.
Integrity compromised. Likelihood of station survival stands at 7%. Repairs imperative.
Like Paragon the Overprime, another title that made me do a double take is Ixion, since I got confused between this and Icarus from last week, where both share a sci-fi theme, but this is a city builder instead of a first-person survival game.
Station survival now stands at 9%. Suggest probe launch to locate resources. Mining ships deployed.
You're maintaining and upgrading a space station as the crew attempts to find a new home for humanity, so it's in line with classic sci-fi storylines, but is no less impressive, especially in the visuals department.
Attention required. Tycoon crew distress signal detected. Power consumption reaching critical levels. Administrator intervention necessary.
This is also from the developers of Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, an excellent tactics title, which is one of the best Warhammer games, so I have confidence in the team that this will be great.
Magnetic storm intercepts proposed trajectory. Caution. Likelihood of station survival stands at 15%. Fallout 14%. 12%. 7%.
Of course, Keen Seed is a
farm simulation RPG
of interest, being another game which I previewed, so I won't belabor the point, where this gorgeous pixel art title has come a very long way since its early access release in 2018, where if you love this genre, I'm fairly certain that the 1.0 release will appeal to you. it has ex-Fable developers working on it, mixing in turn-based combat and the ability to continue to play it through generations of characters with an awesome fairy tale theme as well. Pixel art fans, this one's for you. If you grew up with the classic Squaresoft JRPGs back in the day, or in the golden age of the SNES JRPGs, I'm fairly certain that you will love this title, where the pixel art is great, the turn-based combat snappy, and might have an intriguing story to keep you playing. Where based on the demo that I played of Chained Echoes, this is probably a Game of the Year contender. We can watch this video for more beautiful upcoming pixel art games.